Opening scene, before. Snow was still falling when Sarah opened her cabin door, and froze. Her tiny mountain home was surrounded, not by the quiet white of dawn, but by a wall of roaring motorcycles. 200 men in leather jackets, their engines rumbling like thunder, circled her property. The patches on their backs said it all, Hell's Angels. One man, tall, bearded, with cold eyes, stepped forward. He looked straight at Sarah and said, "Ma'am, we're not here for trouble, we're here to thank you." But why were 200 bikers thanking a single mother who lived alone with her son in a remote mountain cabin? What had she done the night before that brought them all here? Before I tell you how this incredible twist of fate unfolded, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles, where true stories of courage, compassion, and redemption come to life. Now, let's go back to where it all began. The night of the storm. Sarah Jenkins wasn't supposed to be living alone in that cabin. Life had just turned that way. After her husband, Mark, passed away in a car accident 2 years earlier, she'd moved to the Montana mountains with her 10-year-old son, Ethan, to start over. Money was tight. Grief was heavier. But somehow, she managed to keep them afloat by baking bread and selling homemade candles to the few neighbors scattered across the valley. That night, a Friday in late January, the temperature had dropped to 10 degrees below zero. The wind howled like a wounded animal, and the snow fell so thick she could barely see past the porch. She was tucking Ethan into bed when a strange noise made her pause. It wasn't the wind. It was a distant rumble, deep, mechanical, and growing louder. She looked through the frosted window. Headlights, dozens of them, flickered through the storm. Her first thought was a convoy, or maybe trouble. Within minutes, motorcycles were crawling up her snow-covered driveway, engines sputtering, tires slipping, riders shouting over the wind. Some bikes were smoking, others simply died on the spot. Sarah grabbed the phone, but the line was dead. The storm had cut the connection. Ethan peeked from the hallway. "Mom, who are they?" "I don't know, sweetheart. Stay inside." She stepped out on the porch, pulling her coat tight, the snow crunching beneath her boots. A man with a thick beard and frost clinging to his eyebrows called out. "Ma'am. Please, our engines froze up. We just need shelter till morning. We'll sleep in the garage, anywhere. Please." Sarah's heart pounded. 25 men. Leather jackets. Tattoos. Exhausted faces. They looked rough, like they'd seen fights, fire, and too many miles. Every instinct told her to say no. But then she noticed something. One of them was carrying a limp dog, wrapped in his jacket. Another was shivering uncontrollably, lips blue. And a third, a young man no older than 20, had tears frozen to his face. Sarah's fear melted into something else, empathy. She nodded slowly. "You can come in. But no trouble. My son's asleep inside." The leader, a tall man named Duke, lowered his head. "You have my word, ma'am. No trouble." Within minutes, the bikers crowded into the warm glow of Sarah's small cabin. The room filled with the smell of wet leather, gasoline, and melted snow. She gave them blankets, soup, and the last of her cornbread. They were hungry, and humbled. They thanked her over and over. Ethan woke up and stared wide-eyed at the men packed into their tiny home. Duke smiled gently. "Hey, little man. You got the best mom in the world." Sarah noticed the way Duke looked at her, not with menace, but with quiet respect. By midnight, most of the men had fallen asleep on the floor, snoring softly. Sarah sat by the fire, listening to the storm die down, feeling strangely at peace. But before dawn, a soft knock came at the door. It was Duke. "Ma'am," he whispered, "you saved our lives tonight. You didn't know us, and you still opened your door. That means more than you'll ever know." He pulled something from his jacket pocket, a small metal pin with angel wings etched on it. If you ever need help, from anyone in this club, you show them this. Sarah smiled faintly. I don't think I'll be needing that. You never know, Duke said, with a wink. And by sunrise, the bikers were gone, leaving only tire marks in the snow. Sarah thought that was the end of it. She was wrong. Chapter 2, The Morning After. The next morning, Sarah woke to the sound of engines, hundreds of them. The ground trembled. She ran to the window. What she saw made her heart nearly stop. Her cabin was surrounded by a massive formation of motorcycles, stretching down the road, across the hills. Maybe 200 riders, every one wearing a Hell's Angels patch. Ethan ran to her side. Mom, are they back? I don't know. Sarah stepped outside, trembling. The sea of bikers parted, and there was Duke, leading the pack. He parked his bike, took off his helmet, and walked up to her porch with a soft smile. Morning, ma'am. What is this? What's going on? Duke nodded toward the group. These men came because of you. Sarah frowned, confused. Because of me? He gestured to a tall man standing behind him, older, with silver hair and tears in his eyes. This is Ricky. He's the founder of our chapter. Last night, while you were helping us, he was out there too, lost in the snow, 20 miles away. We thought we'd lost him. Sarah gasped. Oh my God. Duke smiled. When we got back, we told everyone what you did, how a stranger sheltered 25 freezing bikers without asking who we were, without fear. So this morning, every Hell's Angel in 100 miles rode here to say thank you. Sarah was speechless. Then, the sound of boots crunching in snow, the men were carrying boxes, blankets, firewood, bags of groceries. You helped us, Duke said, now it's our turn. One by one, the bikers stepped forward, stacking supplies on her porch, fixing the roof, refilling her propane tanks, and even repairing her broken truck. Ethan stood on the steps, eyes wide. Mom, they're angels. Sarah laughed through her tears. Yes, sweetheart. Maybe they really are. As the sun broke through the clouds, Duke approached her again. Ma'am, we've got a saying in our world, never forget who was kind when the world was cold. You did more than give us shelter. You reminded us we're still human. He handed her a folded envelope. Inside was a check for $20,000, signed by the Hell's Angels Brotherhood. Sarah covered her mouth. I can't accept this. You already did, Duke interrupted gently. It's not a gift. It's a thank you. He turned to Ethan and handed him a small leather bracelet. That's our lucky charm, little man. It means courage. Keep it safe. The engine started again, hundreds of them, roaring in unison. Sarah and Ethan stood on the porch, watching as the bikers rode away into the mountains, sunlight flashing off their chrome like sparks of fire. Tears streamed down her face, not from fear, but from something far deeper. Hope. That day, Sarah learned something powerful. Kindness can echo farther than you ever imagine. A simple act of compassion, even in fear, can awaken humanity in the unlikeliest of hearts. And somewhere on those cold Montana roads, the Hell's Angels rode on, carrying a story they would tell for the rest of their lives. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles, where true stories of humanity, courage, and kindness remind us that light still exists, even in the darkest storms.